the fact that a guy as slimy and disingenuous as Leonard Ellaby is going out of his way to try and talk up Luis Ortiz's chances in this Wilder rematch makes me even more confident than I already was that Deontay Wilder is going to win this fight. Wilder may not require the help that he got from the officials in order to win this time around, but that assistance will be there if he needs it. And Leonard Ellaby knows damn well that that's the case. There's far more at stake this time for Deontay Wilder. The Tyson Fury fight on the horizon, a potential undisputed fight against Andy Ruiz on the horizon. They don't want to F up that money. Luis Ortiz is nowhere near the name that Deontay Wilder is. If Deontay Wilder was to lose, it would tarnish his standing in the heavyweight division. They want to keep him up there in lights with that shiny O at the end of his record. So I have no doubt that should Deontay Wilder find himself in a sticky situation, the powers that be at PBC will do whatever they have to make sure he gets out of it. That's my view. Luis Ortiz, coming from Cuba, grew up in poverty. He's probably a little naive to the fact that he is being used as cannon fodder in this particular fight. Look at Ortiz's face here. Look at Ellaby's face, always hiding behind those dark glasses in interviews. Never trust the guy who's always wearing dark glasses in interviews. Not as a one-off, always wearing dark glasses in interviews. He doesn't want people to see where his eyes are going. He knows that unless Ortiz can somehow hit lightning in a bottle and knock Deontay Wilder out with one punch out of nowhere, then he is not leaving the ring with that WBC strap around his waist. It's just not happening. If it goes to points, Ortiz is never going to get a decision. Not happening. Ellaby knows this, which is why he's given Ortiz such a big sell. Oh, he's dangerous. You know, he's trying to make out that the fight is something other than it is, which is virtually a foregone conclusion. And it's not because Luis Ortiz doesn't have the ability, because he's got ability. He hurt Wilder in the first fight. It was very competitive. But when the chips are stacked against you to this degree, it makes it virtually impossible. So, as I said in previous videos, to me, this is not about who's going to win the fight, because I am extremely confident that Deontay Wilder is going to win by hook or by crook. To me, it's about what kind of fight it is and the manner of Wilder's victory. Will it be a convincing victory? Will it be a good fight? Will it be a snooze fest? Will it be over early? Will it go the distance? These are the questions I have in my head. In terms of who's going to walk out the ring with the belt, Deontay Wilder is going to do that. This is a rematch that very few people were calling for, but we're getting it anyway. And those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, we know the politics behind all that. This is just a platform for Deontay Wilder to springboard off into the Fury fight. That's all this is. Everybody knows that except for maybe Luis Ortiz. Does he know? Does he not know? I'm not in his head. I suspect he is naive to some degree, but I don't know to exactly what extent. As I said in previous videos, if Ortiz decides to be more defensive this time around, then I think there is a chance he could go late or maybe even the distance. But if he believes that the only reason he lost the first fight was because he wasn't fit enough, then he's going to get knocked out probably quicker this time. In fact, I've seen some of the footage of Luis Ortiz recently, and to me, he looks tired and lethargic. I didn't see any snappy punches. I didn't see any energy there. He looks like a tired man to me, and that's not a good sign. This close to a fight, I want to see sharpness. These are not welterweights. They don't have to drain themselves to make weight. So this close to a fight, you want to see a guy at heavyweight, nice and sharp and snappy. He's tapering down his training. His body should be replenishing its energy stores. But with Ortiz, I just see a guy who he looks tired to me. And when you're bringing in a strength and conditioning coach at Ortiz's age, God knows how old he really is. You're bringing in an S&C coach. He might actually take more out of you than he gives you by way of, energy and stamina benefits. Yeah, you might look aesthetically better. But if you're doing something new, something intense from a cardio point of view at such an advanced age, I think that's a very big risk to take. Ortiz didn't lose the first fight because he gassed out. He lost the first fight because Deontay Wilder was hitting him with right hands. From, when was it, the 5th round when Ortiz was first dropped, or the 6th? I think it was the 5th. Ortiz had plenty of gas in the tank at that stage, but he still got caught. Because as I've previously explained, the early rounds were uneventful. The crowd started booing. Ortiz probably felt, as the challenger, that he wouldn't get the benefit of the doubt in those close rounds. So when he heard the boos, he probably felt like, okay, I need to make something happen here. And when he went forward and got a little more aggressive, he got punished for it and he got dropped. If he wants to last the distance in the rematch and maybe win a moral victory, because he's not going to get an actual victory, then he needs to stay within his defensive construct and just fight a purely counter-punching fight. I think that's what he needs to do if he wants to at least save face and not get knocked out a second time. And I do think he has the technical ability to do that. Whether he has the energy this time or not remains to be seen. Again, I'm a little disturbed by a man this old trying new, super intense strength and conditioning routines in a training camp, at this advanced stage of his career. If it was something you'd been doing for years, cool, you're probably accustomed to it, your body's acclimatized to it. But even then, you'd probably, you want to taper it down the older you get. But when you're doing something that you're not used to at this age, and it's so cardio intense, I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical about that. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Am I selling Luis Ortiz short? I know there's a lot of people out there, particularly in the UK, who want to see Deontay Wilder lose. It was the same thing before the Dominic Breazeale fight. All these people were popping up saying, no, I think Breazeale can do it and this, that, and the other. Breazeale was never going to be able to beat Deontay Wilder. I mean, he had a slim chance, a chance nonetheless, but a very slim chance. I was very confident that Wilder was going to beat Dominic Breazeale. The closer to the fight, the more confident I got. And in fact, I said in my pre-fight video, don't be surprised if Wilder knocks him out early. Because from a stylistic point of view, Dominic Breazeale is actually tailor-made for Deontay Wilder. He's a huge, slow lump with a poor defense. I mean, Wilder won't be able to miss him. With Luis Ortiz, it's not so straightforward from a stylistic point of view. And I do think that Deontay struggles a little bit more with southpaws to land his right hand. Although this will be the 3rd time he's fought a southpaw as WBC world champion. So he would have surely become somewhat acclimatized to fighting him, somewhat accustomed to him. Although I don't think it's ever going to be his preference to fight a southpaw rather than an orthodox. I mean, if you go back to the Ortiz Szpilka fight, Szpilka was able to successfully nullify Deontay Wilder's right hand for the majority of that fight. And just like Luis Ortiz, the time when he got caught is when he actually started to stalk Wilder and try and take the fight to him. That's when Szpilka got caught. Same as Luis Ortiz. You look at that first knockdown in the first fight, Ortiz gets caught when he's going for Wilder. So I think southpaws have actually got an even better chance of nullifying Wilder's right hand than orthodox fighters do. Which is why I would love to see Deontay Wilder against somebody like Alexander Usyk. People writing Usyk off, I think, are very short-sighted. But, you know, we'll see what happens. And I'm going to make a separate video about it, but there's virtually no chance, it would seem at this stage, of Wilder ever fighting Usyk because the PBC don't recognize the WBO anymore. And of course, Usyk is mandatory for the WBO title. Is that a move on behalf of the PBC to keep Wilder or possibly Andy Ruiz, if he comes through the AJ rematch, away from Alexander Usyk? That argument could be made. It's certainly got more credibility to it than the argument that AJ is going to vacate the WBO to avoid Wilder. How does that work? If Wilder is part of the PBC and the PBC don't recognize the WBO anyway, how does that help AJ avoid Wilder? People talking absolute nonsense, as usual. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Yeah, I'm very confident Wilder wins this fight. If it was a level playing field and these were just two neutral contenders fighting on neutral ground, of course I would give Ortiz a much better chance. But that's not the case. And behind the scenes, during the fight, the judges, the ref, Al Heyman, whoever, they will do whatever they have to do to make sure that Wilder retains that WBC strap. All Wilder has to do is just stay on his feet. And I think he can stay on his feet. And again, I'm not saying he can't win the fight legit. He definitely can do that too. But if he needs the help, it's going to be there. I'm out, people. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.